Okay, so you're here with us because you really want to understand like the huge shifts that are happening in our world, and you want to get right to the point, right? No time wasted. Today, we're going deep into some analysis of German politics. It seems like there might be a major change coming for Germany for their next chancellor, Friedrich Merz.
And it's a change that I think might really surprise some people.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so what's getting a lot of attention is this idea that Merz, who has always been seen as, a solid partner to the U.S., someone with these strong connections to American finance, that he might be moving in a totally different direction.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, all the analysis we've been going through, it's painting this picture of Merckx like, he was close to the U.S. for so long, and now he's maybe turning his back on America. And it even goes as far as saying he might be changing his mind about Germany's commitment to, keeping its finances in check.
Yeah, and there are even hints that he's been making some pretty strategic moves even before the new parliament gets a chance to say
Yeah,
anything.
we could even weigh in.
Right, exactly.
So they were elected in February 2025.
Yeah, February 2025. And remember all this stuff with the debt ceiling?
Oh, right.
Yeah, it makes you think.
It really does. Okay, so what's the reason for this change?
Well, the analysis points to his intense focus on what's happening in Ukraine. And they link that back to, Germany's historical anxieties, their worries about Russia. It's kind of like this deep-seated fear that's been there since, 1941?
Since World War II, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the analysis is saying that Merz really doesn't want to do anything that would, like, de-escalate the situation.
Even if it could actually benefit Germany economically.
Yeah, even if it meant, good things for Germany's economy.
Interesting. So instead of sticking with the U.S., it seems like the analysis is suggesting that Germany might be more into this idea of like a French nuclear umbrella,
Right, and like a joint European defense thing.
Yeah, a European defense community or something.
But here's the catch. Germany's the one footing the bill, but France gets to call the shots.
Like a Napoleon 2.0 situation.
Yeah, some people are even calling it that.
Wow. Okay, so this brings us to a really important point that the analysis makes about, the current German leadership.
Like that old German elite they're talking about.
Exactly. They're saying that this whole group might be missing what's happening in the rest of the world, like that they're too focused on Europe and its past.
Right, and they're missing out on big things happening globally, like AI, demographics.
All these other huge trends.
Yeah, and they're also pretty critical of Germany's commitment to becoming climate neutral by 2045. They think it's not realistic.
Which, of course, brings us to the AfD. And it's interesting because Elon Musk actually called them Germany's savior.
That's right. And their position seems to be shifting a little, too. Despite some of the things Merz has said about them in the past, the AfD is now saying they want a direct partnership with the U.S.
So maybe they're moving away from the whole EU structure?
Yeah, it's possible. And, the analysis suggests that some of the AfD's ideas, like focusing on peace, dealing with the refugee situation, and prioritizing fair trade over CO2 dogma, that these things might actually line up with a future American administration. So you could have a completely different relationship between Germany and the U.S. in the future.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right? Especially when you think about the influence that the U.S. has had on shaping the very elite that Merz comes from.
Yeah, the transatlantic elite. It's a big deal.
Huge. And, the analysis even goes as far as saying that while, yes, big global changes are probably coming, Germany might not be as central to them as it has been in the past. And they even mention people like J.D. Vance as potential U.S. partners in this new landscape.
So basically, we're looking at two very different paths for Germany. One where they're more integrated with Europe, maybe even led by France, and another where they forge a direct alliance with the U.S.
And it really makes you wonder, with all these potential shifts, what's going to determine Germany's place in the world? And how will this affect, all those international alliances that we're used to seeing? It's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Really appreciate it.